One night while I was sleeping in my room, something strange happened in the house. It was completely silent and the only light in the room was coming from the wall through the window. Slowly I was realized that it got more. My body, my hands were open, but I was experiencing sleep to illness paralysis. I tried to move my arm and scream for help, but my body did not respond. At that moment, I started to feel like the fear taking over me. The room felt cold and heavy inside. Become very comfortable. While I was trying to understand what would happen, I know something in the corner of my room. Slowly, I saw the dark shadow standing next to my bed. It was tall and completely stylish. As it was watching me, I feel my hair being faster and faster. I was completely terrified. I went too close. My hands were cold and stood looking in the shadow. After a few long terrifying minutes, I was finally able to move my fingers and with my eye quickly saw out the bed and turned. All the light, the shadow was gone, but the fears stayed with me for the rest in the night.
One quiet afternoon was has done my homework on my computer. Something strange happened. The room has complicated silent enter. I studied, felt and cool chills through my body. At first, I ignored it as the gate unworking. But then a center saw standing next to me. Suddenly, I turned my head and the sand I thought becomes my desk and round, but and transparent round, sounded like nesting. The stone straightened out it ran and fed it want to fit my something becomes. I des some focus on my yomart. I tried to ignore it, but then I yawned and fate whispered. At first I didn't understand the word moment alert. I remember what it has this. That what I read it once my ignorant it was doves. This I shan't look back that Dion's has. Dion's put lifted only the sound silent of the rump, and the terrible feeling that it might come buried in her.
It was a night when my brothers, cousins, and I would get together every weekend to play. Among the eucalyptus trees, a place the neighbors avoided, has its trees houses communication antennas from a space base abandoned since World War I. As always, we played hide and seek, using the sand fields that had formed after the impact of a damaged satellite. I hid where the darkness was absolute and motion sensors could not detect me. Just as I adjusted my night vision goggles, their screens became saturated with reddish hues. From within the eucalyptus trunks emerged a paranormal behind, with black skin, whose eyes glowed like two meteorites. It smiled strangely, and I saw that its hand had only 3 fingers. I was paralyzed. My nervous systems seemed to have been hacked, and I felt a data signal trying to access my brain through the air. The figure extended its hand, and blue terms of light emerged from its fingers, heading toward me, while a voice echoed in my head. "Don't be afraid. I am the last guardian of the Dimension Bridge. You're idiot to repair the connection that keeps our worlds united." I screamed desperately, "Mom, help me," as tears of fear mixed with the cold sweat of shock. The figure frowned, and its form began to fade like a misaligned hologram, time running out. It died before disappearing. I ran home up fast as I could and when I woke up, my mother showed me a triangular mark on my wrist, identical to the symbol the figure had worn, and told me that an ancestors had worked on the project over 100 years ago. Even today, every night I look to mark the eucalyptus woods, knowing that one day I will have to fulfill my destiny.
Saturday night last year, around 3 in the morning, I was working on security work in the Lago Agrio City. The night was very quiet. Everything around the building was dark and empty. I was inside my workbox, filling out my notebook, was another normal shift. Through the windows, where was a pale figure crawling closer and closer. Yeah, at first I thought I was a person by a somehow who needed help, but the way it moved was not normal. Its body looked wrong and unnatural. I froze. I kept staring. Then suddenly it stopped, and slowly it turned toward from where I was sitting. I must look it glowing under the light, and then I disappeared. No sound, no trace, nothing. My heart was racing. Later, I went back to my room, but I could now sleep. The next day, I told another word. what he saw. He did not laugh. He was looking at me and said, he sang, same intro, and today this is still, I still don't know if what he saw tonight was human or something not from this world.
5 years ago on my night, I have a very standard and terrific experience at relative house. That night is more that sick of the relatives and were on second floor of the house watching a horror movie together. Everything was quiet and normal, and we were enjoying the movie. Suddenly, in the middle of the movie, we heard two very long smiles coming from different doors downstairs. Did you hear that? One of my cousins asked nervously. Yes, but nobody is downstairs, another relative replied. We are looking at each other, confused and scary, but and one watches to go down and check. So we stayed in the rooms and confused watching the movie. Another were and really feeling nervous. When the movie ended, things became even scarier. We started to hear strange noises coming from the terrace and the rails, like forested moving slowly in the dark. It sounded like someone is outside. Someone whispered, and at the moment the leaf flickers for a second. One towards the windows they saw a strange light moving in the chairs, almost like mysterious presence. Some of them started to cry, which the adults started to calm every time together is together and began release the bill and the blame. After 5 minutes the noise started and everything became kept again. However, none of the call explained that's really happening that night. It was one of the most shocking and horrific experiences of my life. And since that moment, we have never watched horror movies alone after night again.
The house was completely silent, and the only light in the room was coming from the moon. Moon. Okay. I just. In the room was coming from the moon shows.
Oh my god.
Baby. Okay.
Herb and Dad and Don's visit my next to lamp have the transparent dawn. This is loud pet and ahí sí está.
It was a night my brother's cousins go together. My wow. Qué vaina eso del WhatsApp. ¿Qué dice? It was a night when my brother's cousins and go get together. I No puede ser. It was when my brothers, cousins get together every weekend to play. No. I run home as fast I could and find it. Esa parte no me entra. I ran home as fast as I could. No puede ser.
Una noche el sábado del año pasado, era alrededor de las 3 de la madrugada. Era un inglés. Salí del estrés, un besito para la racha.
They are recording around my night.